All right, let's jump right into our next interview, okay?
Jump in.
You have heard of the law of attraction. But
Yes.
why isn't it working for so many people, India?
Probably because the moon and the sun. And anyway, Vincent Genna, who's joining us now to break down, what's really going on and the common myths that might be holding you back. Vincent, thank you so much for being here. We love when you pop onto the show.
Oh my gosh, I love being here and you inviting me. It's so wonderful to see the both of you.
So tell us a little bit about the law of attraction for folks who don't understand.
Oh, wow. Well, there is a force out there, as George Lucas said it in Star Wars, the Force. Well, there is a power of force that we are all connected to. We're energies, right? And we're having a physical experience. But as energies, we're connected to a greater force. Well, that force is what we call the law of attraction, because whatever you put into that force is what you're going to get out. Now, even psychologists knew that. Whatever you put out there in the world is going to happen to you. You're going to get it back again, right? They never just referred to the force, but it is. It's the law of attraction. But it doesn't work for everybody the way they think it's supposed to work.
That is true.
Okay, so what do we need to do to get it to work, or what kind of advice do you have for us to adapt in this particular situation?
All right, well, here is the greatest thing. It's all about belief. They usually say that the law of attraction and manifesting is based on your thoughts. Well, that actually isn't true. It's based on your beliefs, but not your conscious beliefs. It's based on your unconscious beliefs. Whatever is deep down inside of you is what you're going to put out into the world, okay? Your thoughts affect your beliefs, but it's those inner beliefs. And here is the biggest problem. Most people don't believe what they think they believe. Deep down, you know, they may believing, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, I'm not deserving. And that's actually what's influencing their manifesting. So they may want that really good job. They may want to attract that lover into their lives that they think they deserve. But if they don't truly believe in themselves deep down inside, that's what's going to cause the manifesting, not their conscious thoughts. Your conscious mind only accounts for 2 to 5% of your entire mind. So what's going on deep inside the 95 to 98%, that's what's controlling your life. So what you believe is based on what the outcome is. Look at your life and see what you have in it, what you don't have in it. And if you don't like what you have in it right now, then go inside and bring those deep down beliefs to the surface. That's why I wrote my book, The Secret That's Holding You Back. It's about going inside, bringing to the surface what you really believe about yourself, and then change those beliefs, and you'll change the outcome of what you're manifesting. And most people don't do that work.
Vincent, so how can folks do that work, or even look deep down within themselves if they're, let's say, a pessimist?
All right, they have to be willing. And if they're a pessimist, well, that's a blockage right there. We have defense mechanisms that actually hide and suppress what we're really believing about themselves. And that pessimism or skepticism or even the idea that you don't believe in any of this, all right, those are all defense mechanisms keeping you and shielding you from seeing what you really believe about yourself. The two highest functions of the human brain is to keep us alive, number one, and number two, to protect us in order to keep us alive. Well, we know how it protects us physically, with passing out, with having a fever, raising our body temperature to make it an unlivable environment for a bacteria or a virus. But how does it protect us emotionally when we have those emotional pains about ourselves that started very early on in our lives? Well, it suppresses them, and it pushes them aside, and it creates a new set of beliefs. So I don't believe in that stuff. Oh, no. Oh, I didn't get the job because that guy is an idiot, not because of me. I deserve to get that job. I deserve to get the raise. Oh, there's nobody out there that's good enough for me. Everybody has problems. I keep attracting the wrong ones because there's nobody else worth it. Those are all defense mechanisms, and we have to acknowledge them first in order to get to the deep-seated stuff. To be able to turn around and say, all right, I did not manifest or bring into my life what I really want to attract into it. So that means I need to do some inner work. And we can't be afraid to do that, but most people are afraid to do that work.
So can you also talk a little bit about, let's say, narcissism? We know many folks who have the law of attraction, and sometimes it'll be a little bit of narcissistic, but you also have, on the other hand, folks who were like, well, I have manifested this for so long and this is what I have, or, you know.
Well, let me just correct, or not correct, but to clarify the idea and the concept of narcissism. Narcissists are not manifesting anything that they really want, okay? They are using their defense mechanisms to counter what they really believe about themselves. And in fact, yes, they may fake it for a real good long time, and it may look good on the outside, but on the inside, they're miserable. They've got all bad things happening in their lives because they do not believe good about themselves. They actually despise themselves. To the level of a person that is narcissistic is to the level that they despise and hate themselves. And that human mind, in order to protect them, in order to allow them to cope and function during a day or their lives, right, it creates a different set of beliefs, those grandiose beliefs about themselves. But the more you see a person who has narcissistic tendencies, you've got to know that they have real bad problems about themselves. You just don't hear that part because it's so suppressed inside of them. But they get depressed a lot of times. I've worked with several narcissists, and they do get depressed, and they have a lot of anxiety and mental health issues. But the whole idea is you've got to be understanding that you've got to change those inner beliefs. And a narcissist actually spends more time putting down another person than actually praising themselves if you listen to them. I mean, if I have a room and a lamp and a light bulb is on in that room, right, and there's other lights in that room, there's two ways I can make that light bulb brighter. I can either change the bulb and put in a higher wattage bulb, or I can turn out the other lights and that light becomes brighter. So what a narcissist tends to do is dim everybody else's light in order for his or her light to shine even brighter. So that's about not loving, caring about oneself, because you think you're so low, you got to bring everybody else down past your level, right? So they're manifesting what they don't want in their lives. It just looks like sometimes, like we can see some narcissists and we think that they're really successful because they have a lot of money. But that doesn't mean anything. That does not define a person's self-belief or self-image. That just defines how manipulative they were in their lives to be able to get that money. You know what I mean? The difference between the two?
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, Vincent, you always make some great points and have some great thoughts. If people want more information to find all of your literature and just more about you, how can they do it?
All they have to do is go to vincentgenna.com and they'll connect with me and my podcast and even see the events. Like I'm doing a cruise in March to Greece. It's going to be a spiritual cruise, an unbelievable experience for those who want to come. And everybody can find out things like that and my other events on my website, vincentgenna.com. Thank you so much for asking me that.
All right.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Yeah, he's always so deep. I
Oh, yeah,
love
for
talking
sure.
to
I can listen to him
Vincent.
talk every day.